When I'm working with pregnant and postpartum bodies, I often see obliques that are overfiring. And this is really common, especially for this time period, because the muscles of the abdominal wall have been stretched to their max, and your obliques, especially immediately after postpartum, are the first things that want to fire. Your core is looking for that strength, and this lower belly that has been stretched out needs a little bit of time and coaxing and strengthening to start to fire again. So if you know that you're overfiring your obliques, the telltale sign for that, by the way, is if you look in the mirror when you do that belly pump, and if you see the top of your abdominal wall pull in and you have a little bit of a persistent lower belly pooch, there's not a lot of movement in those lower abdominals, that's telling you that your obliques are turning on, the lower abdominals are lagging behind. So what I want you to do is try to get these obliques to turn off and focus on a deeper, maybe even what feels like a smaller core activation, to get that activation to turn on from hip bone to hip bone instead of immediately up here. So here's a few oblique stretches that you can go through just to get these guys up here to turn off. We're gonna start with the soles of the feet together. Sit up nice and tall. And this alone might feel like a stretch for your inner thighs and pelvic floor. That's not the purpose, just to get into the obliques, but double whammy there. We'll also get that release to the pelvic floor. I'm going to take one arm out to the side, lift this other arm up nice and high. Give yourself a big inhale, relax your pelvic floor, and then exhale, head over into that side body stretch. Now you may be here, propped up. You may be able to come all the way down to your elbow. I cannot today. And I want you to think about breathing into your side ribs and this side of your body. So you're getting a nice stretch there. If this feels too intense for the soles of the feet together, go ahead and just cross those legs in front of you instead. Give me one more breath in, one more breath out. And on that exhale, hug your core muscles in to bring yourself back upright again. And then we're gonna head over to the other side. Either soles of the feet together or switch and put the opposite leg in front if you're crossing your legs. One arm goes up, nice and lifted. I want you to feel that arm reaching up to the ceiling before you head over into that side body stretch. You also want to make sure that this opposite sits bone is not popping up off the ground. You want to feel really grounded from this overhead fingertip through the side body all the way down into that opposite sits bone. And just take those few deep breaths. So you're either here or you're in that cross-legged position. Wherever you feel like you can get the most lengthening and release right through here. One more inhale. On that next exhale, you're gonna wrap your core and bring yourself up. We're gonna take one leg out to the side. Hug this leg in. Again, if it feels good for you to take both of those legs out, you're welcome to do that. It doesn't really matter to me if you're flexing or pointing to this foot. Depending on where that foot placement, you're gonna feel a different stretch in your leg. So if you want to stretch more here or here, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that we're getting into that oblique. So arm overhead, same foundation as before. Nice line of energy from the fingertips through the body into that grounding sits bone. Breathing into your side ribs. Nice deep stretch here. Try to keep tension out of your neck, out of your shoulders. On your next exhale, lift through your pelvic floor. Lift, wrap, hug that abdominal wall close to you, and switch over to the other side. So either one leg in, one leg out, or both legs out. Ground down through those sitting bones. Arm goes up, lift, and then head into that side body stretch. Feeling that energy from my middle finger to my grounding sits bone, breathing into the sides of my rib cage. Feeling that oblique lengthen and let go. On your next exhale, gentle lift through your pelvic floor, wrap that abdominal wall, and bring yourself back up. We're gonna come up into a kneeling position. If you need some kind of a prop, a chair, a block or two, a stack of books for balance on this one, maybe even put yourself up against a wall, that could be helpful. But you're gonna hit 90 degrees in both of your legs. Just come up to a nice tall position here. The leg that's in front, the opposite arm is gonna go up into the air. And if you need the extra balance, you're gonna put it into that right arm. You're gonna lift up nice and tall, and you are gonna head into that side body stretch. Focusing on the same thing as before. Shoulders away from the ear. You're breathing into the sides of the rib cage, entire side body. On your next exhale, I want you to take a slight lift through your pelvic floor. Wrap the abdominal wall close to you to bring yourself up. Then you're gonna switch over to the other side. Depending on your surface, you may also need a little bit of padding underneath your knees. If it feels really hard, roll your mat up a few times underneath that knee that's on the bottom. Sitting up nice and tall, leg that's in front, opposite arm goes up. This arm goes out somewhere for balance if you need it, to hold onto a wall or a stack of books or some blocks. You're heading over, take that shoulder out of your ear, breathing into the sides of the rib cage and down the entire side body. On your next exhale, you're gonna take a gentle lift through your pelvic floor, wrap hip bone to hip bone to pull yourself back up to the center. And then you're welcome to do this next one on your knees or come all the way up to standing. You know, we do this stretch a lot in our workout, so we just lift our arm up and take that side body stretch. So if any of those other versions up to this point feel a little too intense, you can always just stick with this side body release, breathing down this entire side of your body. And then lift up and away and over to the other side. You can hold this for as many breaths as you need to. Sometimes I find it even helps to kind of palpate or, you know, press into and massage those muscles, the oblique muscles, when they are extra tight. And come up. And then let's just do that. Just take your fingertips and I want you to just feel around through the abdomen. Sometimes it helps to close your eyes and, you know, just send a little message there to tell all of these oblique muscles to loosen up. One more breath. Nice big release. And exhale, let go.